Hello and welcome back to the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Imani Fleming. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope everyone had a fun and safe spring break, and we've got some great stories for you this week. First, the university's decision to hold an in-person commencement ceremony after a year of continued flexibility and COVID-19 precautions on campus. Then, we're taking a look at a month-long fundraising event sponsored by the Multicultural Unity Student Involvement Council in partnership with the Refugee Dream Center of Providence. And as always, make sure to stick around for your Rhody Sports Corner. A semi-return to normal in Kingston has allowed for an in-person commencement ceremony to celebrate URI's graduating class of 2022. Alexa Potiamianos sat down with university leadership to talk about what goes into planning the various ceremonies and what URI community members can expect from the weekend-long celebratory event.
With the university life making its way back to the pre-COVID era, planning of an in-person commencement is in full swing. I talked to Dave LaValle and Shauna Green to find out more.
The commencement committee is made up of over 100 very active, very involved, very enthusiastic members of the campus community. So it means a lot to every single one of us to have a really meaningful experience for the graduates and their families who are celebrating. We worked very, very closely with members of senior leadership. As Dave mentioned, both Dave and I are on the COVID task force. So we work very, very closely, paying attention to what is happening on campus, what we're able to do and what we can't do. So as we decided to move back to our more traditional commencements of being back out on the quad and having the pomp and circumstance that we've had for many, many, many years at this point, we were, with guidance, a lot of guidance by senior leadership in the COVID task force and public safety.
LaValle shares more on the full university effort to make these events come to life.
One of the things that's extraordinary about the weekend and even the build up to it, as Shauna said, we're at this all year long. Me, not quite the same as Shauna, but certainly there are people thinking about this, like she said, right after the commencement ceremonies are closed. In May, we're getting ready for the next year. But there are, among the committee members and even those who aren't on the committee, the effort made by folks in facilities, electricians, property managers. These are the folks who get stuff set up so that when we plug in the big screen, it actually works.
Alexa Potiamianos, 5 Cent Cigar News.
The Multicultural Unity Student Involvement Council, or M.U.S.I.C for short, is hosting a One Love Month fundraising initiative that will help directly support the Refugee Donation Center in Providence. 100% of the donations raised by URI's multicultural organizations at their respective events will be used to buy supplies for the center and all those in need. I spoke to URI's M.U.S.I.C president to find out more. The organization's president, Lulu Ariadi, tells us more about what One Love Month has in store and how URI's over 30 multicultural organizations can become involved.
Essentially, One Love, me and my vice president, Olivia, thought about doing the weekend, and then we were like, well, why don't we do a week? And then it transitioned to, well, why don't we do an entire month? Because we have a lot of multicultural organizations, and, they all deserve some days and, over a week to celebrate them.
After serving as M.U.S.I.C's community service chair, Ariadi says she made it one of her top priorities for the group when becoming president.
When I became president, I made it my, honestly, my obligation to do something for the greater community. Like, that's always been something that I've been interested in. And I work with an amazing, amazing e-board. And we decided to do something in which we didn't just want to leave it to just music, because obviously music is the hub of all the other multicultural organizations. So we decided to do something with all of them. We had talked about different ideas, and on top of the donations, because I also didn't want to make this just a one-stop shop donation, we also have encouraged, continue to encourage people to also help out the Refugee Dream Center and volunteer.
She says that M.U.S.I.C is continuing to encourage their members to help in any way possible outside of the month-long fundraiser.
We have encouraged them to start, for people, anybody that's interested, to become homework helpers for the kids, to help the adults find jobs and fill out applications and pretty much learn English. the center is amazing, and anything that we could do to help that center as well as any other center, we wanted to do.
To find out more information about the Refugee Center in Providence and the different volunteering efforts available, you can visit their website at refugeedreamcenter.org. And now over to Aniekan Okon with a very special edition of your Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Imani. Hello and welcome back to another edition of your Rhody Sports Corner. A new era is officially upon us here in Kingston. New men's basketball coach Archie Miller was formally introduced earlier this week as a new leader of the program. I had a chance to talk to him one-on-one on why he chose URI and his aspirations for the team. And I'm joined here with the man of the hour, new head basketball coach Archie Miller. First off, how are you doing? Congratulations, big day. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm very excited to be here. My family's excited for the opportunity. Tremendous people, great university, and proud program. So we're thankful, but obviously very excited to be here.
First off, what attracted you about coming here to Kingston? You were at Dayton for 6 years, spent some time at Indiana away from coaching for a year, and then you're back here. What attracted you about coming here to Kingston?
The people, the people that are running the show. I think as a coach, you want to be around great people that have great support, but they also have to really be aligned together. There has to be a great alignment between your program up the chain if you're going to be truly the best. And that was evident in our conversations and the commitment and what they want to do. And I feel like it's a great place for me to be the coach. I can be myself, and at the end of the day, we can build something special. But really the attraction. I'm familiar with the arena. I'm familiar with the crowd. I'm familiar with the league and all that. But the people here, particularly four who I've known for a while, it'd be great to work with.
Is it nice to kind of have the Rhody fans on your side this time?
No question, no question. Anytime you come up here, you were going to get it. I got it, and but I'm glad to be on the other side now because this is a tremendous home court advantage, and I think it will only get better. We have to grow it. I said there's got to be an excitement level around our program. We have to provide a great performance and a great product, but no question about it. Home court advantage in any program is essential, and we have it.
6 players in the past week have entered the transfer portal. You talked about not necessarily, if they decide to leave, they can leave. You're not going to put pressure on them for them to stay. But do you have a plan in order to kind of evaluate which players you want to bring back and which players can go elsewhere?
No, not yet. I think the big thing is just really, when you don't know somebody and they don't know you, how can you make a decision? How can they make a decision? How can I make a decision? And I think we have to do is get to the personal level. We have to understand, what the experience has been like here for the players, what the experience and the vision is for the players moving forward. And, like I said, alignment earlier, we have to have an aligned team. You have to have guys that are, bought in. And, I'm not one to say, I'm not here to judge or I'm not here to answer any questions about what happened in the past. I can only answer what's going to happen in the future. But those decisions will be made in the best possible manner they can for each kid and each player. And my hope is that there'll be a lot of guys that decide they want to be a part of the program because they love it. And guys that aren't a part of the program, in this day and age, it's a revolving door. It's to be expected at times, especially when there's transition. So I'm rolling with the punches.
It's been 4 years since Rhody fans have seen their team in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of identity are you trying to set with this program?
Well, I just think in general, we want to be a team that, a program in general that has guys with great attitudes. I talked about the word attitude. I believe attitude is everything. And when there's great attitude, it's contagious. Attitude can also be contagious the other way. So we have to really, really be prideful of that scheme of things. I think from a style of play perspective, we're going to have to figure out what we have first. But we want to be a team that's a hard group. Smart teams, don't beat themselves, but playing fast and being together. And I think when you have just those things as your core, identity, I think, you have a chance to be really, really good. And, when that will be, time will tell, but I feel like we can bring great teams to the floor for URI.
You can watch the full conversation now online at rhodycigar.com and on our YouTube channel. We switch things over to another team looking to turn things around, the Rhody baseball team. After picking up their first win of the year last week, they hope to keep things going Tuesday when they took on Central Connecticut State. These two teams meeting for the first time since 2016. In the top of the 7th, Central Connecticut up 1-0. They add one more to their lead after Aiden Redahan hits a single to left field, bringing home Sam Loda. In the bottom of the 8th, the Rams would finally get on the board after Eric Genter hits this ball just past the outreach hand of the left fielder, scoring Jack Cuccinata to make it 2-1. Unfortunately, the late score wasn't enough. Central Connecticut went on to win 3-1. The softball team was also in action Tuesday as they hoped to earn in-state bragging rights against Providence College. We picked things up in the 3rd inning, Friars with a 1-0 lead at this point. Rachel Petrarca extends it to 2-0 after she smacks this ball over the wall for her 7th home run of the season. The Rams would bounce back in their half of the inning. Ari Castillo at the plate now. She hits one into left center field that nearly reaches the wall. The hit brings home Rachel Zingerman and Sammy Villarreal to tie the game at 2. Unfortunately for the Rams, they would lose this one in extras 3-2 the final. And let's take a look at the rest of your scores around Kingston. The golf team picked up their 2nd win of the season this past weekend at the Carpetbagger Classic, and redshirt senior Brandon Gillis came away as a co-champion. Rhody football released their 2022 schedule Tuesday. They'll open the year on September 1st at Stony Brook. They'll also play ACC champion Pittsburgh later in September and battle for the Governor's Cup on October 1st. And that's it for this week's Rhody Sports Quarter. Back to you.
That's all we have for you this week at the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. As always, make sure to check us out at rhodycigar.com and follow us on Twitter at Rhody Cigar. Reporting from Kingston, I'm Imani Fleming. Stay safe, Rhody.